Yeah, so good to see all of you. We're going to continue. We're on chapter 20 of the book of Shmuel Beis, the book of Samuel 2. And we're studying about the story of Sheva ben Bichri. Who I had mentioned, the Talmud says, is actually the father of Yeravam ben Nevat. He's Micha, Sheva ben Bichri, and Yeravam and Nevat. And in fact, the Talmud mentions that he had a vision, and this vision made him think that he's meant to rule, but really it's his son. The vision was meant that his son is going to rule. And the Talmud says he saw a fire from his male organ, and it was a sign to him that it was that he was going to rule. So he started this rebellion. And Nevat comes from the word that Nibar, that he saw something, Neva prophesied or had some type of a vision, and he was able to, he saw something, but he obviously didn't understand it properly. And he wanted to rule. Really, it was meant that his son is going to be a leader. Now, the verses, we did a few verses, a few psukim yesterday, and we're up to Pasuk Daled. And the king tells Amasa that the king then said to Amasa, so again, we're in chapter 20, Pasuk Daled. The king then said to Amasa, muster for me the men of Yehuda within the next 3 days, and you also stand here then. So he wants Amasa to get to work, get an army together, and we're gonna quiet down this rebellion, finish off Sheva ben Bichri, and end the rebellion. So in verse 5, so Amasa went to muster the men of Yehuda, but he was late for the appointed time which the king had set for him. So the understanding is that Amasa, at least the simple understanding, is that he didn't really do what he was supposed to. He was supposed to gather up the nation and gather up an army, and he didn't. But the Gemara says that he had a reason why he didn't, because he understood that because they had just started studying a new section in the Talmud and the Torah, and he felt that the Torah study overrides this war. And therefore, he felt it wasn't appropriate for him to disturb them. And he had a precedent to such a concept in the time of Yeshua about the fact that the angel had rebuked Joshua for that they weren't studying Torah. And anyway, so he didn't really, it wasn't really rebellious that he didn't get the army together. He had a reason why he didn't get the army together, organize them to fight this war yet. So verse 6 tells us, David then said to Avishai, now Sheva ben Bichri, Sheva the son of Bichri, will do more harm to us than Avshalom. So you take your Lord's servants yourself and chase after him, lest he find himself some fortified cities and rescue himself before our eyes. So David is very nervous. He doesn't have Amasa with the army that he was planning for. And because of that, David says, let me get Avishai at least. Now, why isn't he asking Yoav? Does anyone know why he's not asking Yoav?
Because Yoav is the one that actually killed Avshalom.
That's right.
He started it.
Right on. Yoav killed Avshalom, and David had sort of given over the leadership to Amasa. So David did not ask Yoav; he asked Amasa to run this show, and Amasa didn't seem to do his job. So David is now asking Avishai. Now, Avishai is meant to try to put together an army and get rid of Sheva ben Bichri. And David is nervous that he's going to find some fortified city and be safe. He'll somehow protect himself there. And David says maybe he's even more dangerous than Avshalom. And the reason that he's more dangerous than Avshalom is he's taking advantage of this moment where people are angry at David. Avshalom, maybe people were questioning David. Now people are they're insulted by David. So possibly that's the difference, and that's why he thinks that this is more dangerous than Avshalom. Also, it could be that Avshalom was at least his son. Sheva ben Bichri is an outsider. So maybe that's why he thinks that's why he considers it more dangerous. Verse 6, where it says, so you take your Lord's servants yourself and chase. Oh boy, let me mute everyone again. Okay. Who is your Lord's servants? So you take your Lord's servants. So it either means David was referring to himself, and whoever's here with me, whoever's here around, or it could possibly mean Yoav. Your Lord's servants means Yoav, that even though I'm not hiring Yoav to run the show, but these are, he's still some level of he still has, he was the commander, and he's your servant because he's older than you. He's your older brother. Now, verse 7 says, Yoav's men went after him, as well as the archers and the slingers and all the mighty men. They left Jerusalem to chase after Sheva ben Bichri. So Yoav's people ended up going. Now, it doesn't here. It doesn't tell us that Yoav also went, but we see that soon in Pasuk Tes in verse 9. We'll see that Yoav also goes. So Yoav is still part of this. He's maybe not the commander anymore, but he somehow includes himself, or maybe his brother asked him to help, but he is going along. And all the servants are coming along, and they're the ones who Avishai is gathering together. Now, it's really a very sad part of the story, this next 2 verses. When they were at the great stone that is in Givon, Amasa was coming toward them. So Amasa, who was supposed to be gathering this army together, they actually meet up with him. They're on their way to kill Sheva ben Bichri, but they end up passing by Amasa, who was the official commander in charge. And Yoav was girded with his battle garments, and he had a sword girded upon himself, which was fastened upon his loins in its scabbard. As he moved forward, it fell out. So he sort of set himself up in a way that he'll be able to trick Amasa. And in verse 9, Yoav then said to Amasa, "Is all well with you, my brother?" And Yoav's right hand grabbed hold of Amasa's beard to kiss him. So it made it look like he's acting very friendly. It's his cousin. Amasa is a cousin of his. We also have to understand that there may be some jealousy here, because Yoav lost his position of commander-in-chief, and Amasa was given that position. So possibly, again, it's very hard to understand the story of Yoav. And there are different opinions in the Gemara about Yoav, but just from a practical perspective, there may have been some jealousy there. Yes, Mordechai.
Yeah, is this the same or different from, I'm trying to recall whether this was the same incident or the different incident where it says that there was somebody who wanted to kill somebody, and so they, as a trick, they asked them like how to demonstrate chalitza, and while they were demonstrating it, they stabbed the other person.
Yeah, that's the other story with Avner.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That was the story from before, yeah.
Oh, that's right. And then there was also with King Eglon, somebody came to him and said that they have a message from Hashem. And when he stood up, the person pulled out a sword and stabbed him. So
Ehud ben Gera, yeah. They shifted him. That was in the book of Shiftim, yeah. It's almost time for us to start over again and review.
So it seems like that this type of trickery is quite common.
Well, obviously, you use that any way you can when you want to accomplish whatever you need to accomplish. You use any method you can, especially when it comes to life and death situations, But here it's a little different. Here he used this method. What Yoav claimed, and this is brought in the Talmud, is that Yoav claimed that Amasa was basically not fulfilling the king's command to him. He was disrespectful to the king, so to speak. He was disobeying the king. and he deserved the death penalty, Moirid b'malchus. And that was Yoav's claim against Amasa. The claim against Yoav was that Amasa had a reason why he was disobeying the king, which is how we explained it a little earlier, that the people were not ready to fight this war. They had been involved and engrossed in a Torah study program that he was waiting for them to conclude. And once they would have concluded that session and that discussion, that he was ready to gather them together and fulfill the mission. But Torah study is something that overrides everything else, and so Amasa had his reason behind this, there are questions as to if Yoav was deserving maybe of the death penalty here or not. But it's definitely a very sad story, whether he was or not. Just the idea, just the concept of murder, and we even see how first of all, it's also his cousin, and obviously he was a great person. Yes, Susan, you have a question. Your hand is up.
This is not just sad, it's so disheartening. It's so awful. And the description of what happens,
right,
the way
right.
It happens, is I find it very upsetting.
So the sad part of it is that it's part of our history, and at least the fact that we see it here shows that at least we're not hiding anything. It's there. It's it's written here. We're not going to cover it up with part of our history, and there's obviously lessons to be learned from it. But it does. It is a sad
understand
story.
the transparency. I understand having transparency, but I still find it uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, for sure. Yes, Ben. You're muted.
It's always Yoav that has the excuses for killing somebody, and he kills plenty of people. And every one of them, he has an excuse to King David. But David apparently already got tired of it and wanted Amasa to take over. So he's getting rid of Amasa too.
But guess what?
He did
Yoav
it to Abner, he did it to anybody he could, Absalom.
True.
But the thing I wanted to say the same trick they even used in the Godfather movie.
Oh, is that? I don't know anything about that.
Where you come close to somebody and you kill him.
No, but keep in mind that Yoav did quiet down Avshalom's rebellion, and Yoav is going to cause that Sheva ben Bichri is killed. So he does get the job done. And Yoav helped out David throughout the entire leadership of David to help David all along. So I'm just, it's on the one hand, there's definitely questions on Yoav, and there's definitely reason to question what Yoav does. In fact, David HaMelech curses Yoav, but at the same time, you have to understand that Yoav is the guy that's holding the sword, and might be part of his makeup is to just get do what needs to be done, and he sort of maybe goes
anything. Yeah.
So you have to see the whole picture as well. But you're right; it's definitely questionable a lot of what he does. In fact, the Sanhedrin asks him, questions him, about his actions. It's not like he's clear. It's not like he's fully clear from punishment. And in fact, David HaMelech does curse him, and which we'll see him at Hashem. Okay, so
Excuse me, Rabbi.
yes,
I have a question.
yeah.
Did this murder take place before Moshe came down with the commandments?
No,
Or
after. We're a
Was
few
he
hundred
aware-
years later.
Okay, was he
We're about-
obviously? What I want to know is, was he aware of the commandments and what they were?
Yeah, he was aware.
Okay. Just curious. That's all. Thank you, Rabbi.
So we're in verse what verse are we up to? Verse 10. Amasa was not vigilant of the sword in Yoav's left hand, and he struck him with it into his fifth rib and spilled his innards out onto the ground. He did not need to repeat the blow, and he died. Yoav and his brother Abishai then took up the chase after Sheva, the son of Bichri. A man, one of Yoav's attendants, stood over Amasa and said, "Whoever approves of Yoav and whoever is for David, follow Yoav." So one of Yoav's people was basically telling everyone, "Go forward, keep on going, because we gotta do what we need to. Don't start questioning things." He was nervous that there would be a whole protest, or who knows what could happen over here. So he wanted everyone to just keep on going and move forward, and this way they shouldn't congregate. And the man saw that all the people stood still, so he moved Amasa from the road into the field. Oh, can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. So verse 12. Amasa was wallowing in blood in the middle of the road, and the man saw that all the people stood still, so he moved Amasa from the road into the field and threw a garment over him. And when he saw that everyone who came to it stood still, and once he was removed from the road, all the men passed and followed Yoav to chase after Sheva ben Bichri, Sheva the son of Bichri. So Amasa has been killed. It definitely seems that Yoav did the wrong thing. Like, first of all, why did Yoav have to kill him now? Even if he disobeyed David, was it Yoav's job to kill him? So there definitely it doesn't seem right. Even if he was deserving of death. Now, Yoav and his brother,
since he's a relative of his too.
Right.
A cousin.
Now, Yoav and his brother Avishai, who's really the main person here, they keep on going. They go forward. How did Yoav kill Amasa? He was holding his sword in a way that it looked like his sword fell out because it slipped out. It wasn't on his regular place, regular sheath. It was horizontal instead of vertical, and it slipped out, and he ended up at the same time that he was picking up his sword, he was kissing Amasa as if, saying hello to him, and then he just stabbed him with his left hand, holding the sword, and Amasa died right away. Now, verse 14. He passed through all the tribes of Israel. This is a little unclear, verse 14. Who is it referring to? Rashi over here says that it's referring to Sheva ben Bichri, that Sheva ben Bichri passed through all of these places in order to get people together to join the rebellion. And the Radak also seems to learn that way. He says Sheva ben Bichri, who was running, when he heard that they're running after him, he went to all the different Shvatim tribes till Avela, till the city, and looking for a place to for protection, for refuge. Now, the other explanation is another explanation that's also brought is that it's referring to Yoav, and this is also when the Radak brings this as well, that it's referring to Yoav. So the Radak brings both of these interpretations, and that Yoav went throughout the country gathering people to join in this fight because he's expecting there to be a full-fledged war. And he goes to this city called Avela. Now, if it's referring to Sheva, so he's going to Avela, at least the way Radak learns is he's going to Avela for refuge. Now, if it's Yoav, so he's looking for he's trying to kill Sheva, so he's going there and to Avela. The Avela is where ultimately he goes to this city in order to get Sheva. Now, yes, Ben.
I wanted to say, I think they're talking about Sheva ben Bichri because his move was a surprise. He didn't announce it to all the people before. So now he's going through the tribes so he can tell each one of them that that's what he's trying to do.
That definitely could be I mean, he's passing through
all the tribes, the Israel tribes, not Yehuda.
That is correct. In other words, he's passing through all of these cities, and the reason he's passing all the actually, it doesn't say the cities. He's passing through the different tribes, and the reason he's passing through the tribes is to gather people together.
Yeah.
But he goes to this city of Avel, and the reason he goes to the city of Avel would be for refuge. Avela, to the city. This city is because of because he wants refuge. Now, if it's Yoav, he's passing through these cities to get people together, and he's ending in Avela to find Sheva ben Bichri. Right? So it could be either one. We could be either of these interpretations. But basically, it's either Sheva ben Bichri or Yoav who are traveling through the tribes, and he goes, whoever it is, he goes to this Avela and Beis Macha and V'chol HaBeirim and all of the Beirim, which they translate here, all of the Berites, which basically means an area, like a number of towns, a number of cities. That are called the cities of Beirim, or maybe it's one city of Beirim. Different interpretations, but they gathered together and they too followed him. Now, again, they too followed him is one of these two interpretations. They either followed Sheva ben Bichri with the rebellion, or they followed Yoav to stop the rebellion. And they came and besieged him at this Avela Beis Macha, and they poured a ramp against the city until it remained secure through the inner wall. And all the people who were with Yoav began demolishing to topple the main wall. So what we'll soon see, and my time is really up, but we'll soon see that basically they had two walls, and they would be able to get over the first wall by building some type of a ramp to get over it, but then they have to topple the second wall, and then they'll be able to conquer the city. And we're going to stop here, and I'll hand over the mic to Rabbi Wood.
Thank you, Governor.